where you need to be every Wednesday from 1 to 1:30, and share. Tell a friend. Let us know where you're coming in from, okay? Because we are ready to uplift you. All right, so I'm not even going to go into a lot of stuff. I'm going to do the usual stuff. I'm going to say, okay, who was our winner? Last week, we do our our question, and the winner was Amanda Benjamin. Thank you, Amanda, for sending in the correct answer. And we're going to ask another question this week. So you send your answer to wsa.actorscope@gmail.com. Once again, that's wsa.actorscope@gmail.com. And this one is a real tough one if you weren't paying attention last week, okay? The question comes from last week's show. This week, our question is, Tupac, as you guys know, famously had Thug Life tattooed on his stomach. What does Thug Life stand for? It's actually an acronym. What does Thug Life stand for? Okay? Email your answers. The first answer, correct answer, that emails to wsa.actorscope@gmail.com will get your headshot over all our social media. We will tweet it out. You'll be on Facebook. You'll be on Instagram. And you never know who's paying attention. Okay? You never know who's paying attention. And actually, to that note, I'm going to talk a little bit about the movie. I'm going to go back and forth. But I want to go ahead and introduce our guests. Our guests this week were in the actual movie All Eyes on Me. And you shouldn't be watching the show if you ain't seen the movie yet. You have got to have gone to see the movie.
Go get those tickets.
And go get your tickets, okay? We're still in the theaters, all right?
And then come back.
Exactly. Then we'll talk about it some more. But I'm going to introduce you guys first, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the film. So, Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself and the part that you played in the film.
I'm Ryan Roets. I played Officer Lieberman in the movie. I'm not the nicest of people. But I had a great time. I mean, I think in real life I'm a pretty nice person.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I had a great time working on the project, but I've been performing for a long time. Grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, moved to New York City after going to school at North Carolina School of the Arts. Studied acting there, went out to New York City, tried my hand at Broadway and that kind of thing.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Found my way here.
To ATL.
Into Atlanta, working on film. This is the new up-and-coming spot.
Absolutely.
Atlanta is the place to be. There's a lot of film going on, so I love working with you guys and with everybody else that I've met here.
Shout out to Ryan.
Yes! All right. Okay, Erica, tell us about you.
Hi guys. My name is Erica Pinkett. I play Brianna, who is a young female in the All Eyes on Me film, who portrays Ayanna Jackson, who falsely accused Tupac of rape in the 90s. And so, yes, I play a villain. And you guys go check out the film. It is incredible. Just a little bit about myself. Unlike Ryan, I actually stumbled into this thing after going to Howard. I moved
Shout out HU.
Shout out Howard University. I moved back to Boston. 6 years later, moved to Atlanta with my family. Was just working a regular 9-to-5 job, and then things just came my way. So upon studying here in Atlanta about 7 years ago, I just love this art. I love acting. I love theater, the drama, the arts. I just love it. So hopefully you guys will see much more from me in the future.
Oh, you absolutely will. You absolutely will. So for any of you 2 or 3 people who have not seen the film, it should be no more than 2 or 3 of y'all.
Right.
But let me tell you a little bit about the film. Okay. So first of all, the film is about the iconic, and prolific. Okay, I want to add that word, prolific rapper Tupac Shakur. He was those who don't know, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year, April 7th, in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. And this movie, All Eyes on Me, is about his meteoric rise to fame and all the things that he went through. Like I've said before, if you watch a show, one of the things that I'm blessed with is that not only did I get a chance to work on this film, but I actually knew the man, and I worked on his first film, which was Juice, when he was beginning his career. So, this, as I said many times while we were doing this film, this was more than a job for me. It was more than a movie. This was personal. And I want, so I'm not even going to get into what the naysayers are saying, because I don't give it energy. Okay, they can't have my energy. All right, but what I do say is, love it or hate it. Go see the movie for yourself. Make your own decision. I'm not asking you to love it. I'm asking you to support the film. And if you have your own opinion and you don't like it, that's fine too. And I don't even mind hearing about it if you don't like it. But what I hesitate to do is have conversations with people who haven't even seen the film. That makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? If you have a right to your opinion, but make it be based on something, not the ghetto rumors that you're hearing in social media. Because people literally are. I mean, I'm gonna have to. I won't say his name. I said I won't say his name. But 45 talks about fake news. It's true. Some of that is just fake. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? So please be informed. Make your own decision. And whatever you decide after you see it, I'm good with. I'm not asking you to love it. But if you do, let us know. And if you don't, you can let us know that too. But see it before you talk about it. And so that's the only thing I'm asking.
One of the things Pac stressed too in his lifetime was be an independent thinker. Think for yourself. We live in a time nowadays where everything just, once it's said on social media, it becomes fact. Think for yourself. Like Winston said, go see it. Most of the people I know who've seen it are actually like, wait, it's not a bad film. It's a really good film. So again, the people who are saying bad things about it couldn't have seen what we saw.
Exactly. I mean, and like I said, it may have been personal for me, but bottom line is form your own opinion in life, period. Do not let anybody spoon feed you and tell you what to think. Okay, because we're not robots. You know what I'm saying? You have a right to your own opinion, but make it based on something, not based on he say, she say. Okay, all right. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Anyway, so the movie opens up with Tupac Shakur, who was brilliantly portrayed by Demetrius Shipp Jr. It's like he channeled him.
Yeah,
it's literally like he channeled him.
He was built for this.
Yeah, he was built. He was born for this day. You know what I'm saying? I always make the reference the way that Denzel played Malcolm X, the way that Jamie Foxx played Ray. This is Demetrius's role, and he's been actually in part. I don't know if everybody knows this, but he's been part of this casting process since 2011. Okay, he waited for like 5 years to get the call, and he beat out over like 5,000 people, or something like that. It was absolutely amazing. So the movie opens with him growing up in East Harlem. So most people don't know that that's where Tupac grew up, in East Harlem. And then his mother, who was played Afeni Shakur, who was again brilliantly portrayed by Denai. I gotta get it. Absolutely, okay. And his stepfather, Mutulu Shakur, was played by Jamie Hector, which is a dear friend. Shout out to Jamie. Both members of the Black Panthers. There's so much there could be a whole other movie about their political affiliation, right? He was born to have a voice, and he was born to speak up for it. That's in his blood. You know what I'm saying? So if you pay attention to the film on another level, one of the things we were talking about before we went on air, if you pay attention in the film, everything that Tupac got into, it was always defending somebody else. He has always been about defending others, but I think it's in his blood. You know what I'm saying? Descendant of the Black Panthers. Anyway, he moved to Maryland, where he attended the Baltimore School of the Arts alongside classmate Jada Pinkett, and she famously describes their relationship as he was like a brother, he was like a father. It was more. It was a friendship that was deeper than we understand friendships to be. Exactly, and they've always said it was never romantic, but their connection was undeniable and spiritual. So I want to shout out to the truth of that, and I think that they did a good job portraying that in the movie as well.
So well.
It definitely was. I think it highlighted both her legacy, Jada Pinkett Smith's legacy, and Pac's legacy, and we got to see the one relationship he had in his life that wasn't intimate or that wasn't romantic, but that was deeply felt. When I watched it, I was just like, wow, I love seeing them on camera together. Thought their dynamics their chemistry was incredible. Shout out to Kat Graham.
Yeah, she killed it. Kat really killed it. She did her homework and she really brought it to life. And we can go back and forth about creative license and making a film. I mean, listen, we have 90 minutes, maybe a little bit more than that, to tell 25 years of history. We got to get through it. You know what I'm saying? So if that's all I'll say on that. And actually, one of your castmates actually had a conversation with Quincy Jones recently.
Oh, really?
And shout out to Sean Baker.
Oh,
right? He had
Sean
a conversation,
blowing up.
Quincy saw the film and enjoyed it.
Wow.
Okay, so if y'all don't know who Quincy Jones is, once again, turn off.
Right,
I should not be watching this. Bye. Okay? You need to know who Quincy Jones is. But he saw the film and enjoyed it. So, there's so much. And we've dedicated 2 episodes to this for a lot of reasons. But I could go on talking about this for a very long time. Yeah. But we want to get you to the important parts. Okay, so now I have some questions for you guys. Right? And, chime in however you feel, but I want to get this ball rolling. So when you got the role, this is for both of you, what were some of the things running through your head? Where were you, and how did you get the news?
Take it away.
Ladies first, okay.
Well, for myself, I remember I actually got the audition notice from this beautiful woman here, Miss Winsome Sinclair, and I remember saying, oh my gosh, this is my moment, like I have to do everything perfect. I remember calling my acting coach, Dwayne Boyd, shout out to him.
Shout out to Dwayne.
And I remember just saying, Dwayne, we have to land this. Like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. He said, okay, well, go ahead and show me what you got. But his back was to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why won't he turn around and watch me perform? Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm not going to turn around unless I feel something. And so we were sitting there for an hour, and I'm like frustrated. And I'm like, he's not feeling anything. And literally, like, in the nick of time, he turns around and he's like, that gave me chills. Like, that performance, I didn't want to see you. I wanted to feel that you really felt like you just got, raped, assaulted. Mm-hmm. And so, so that was the preparing for the role. But when I went into the audition, I remember the second time I auditioned, just feeling like, yes, I got it. Like, you kind of have this feeling like, that I gave my all. And as I'm walking out, LT Hutton, one of the producers, actually he's like running. I'm like, did I leave something? He's like, is all this information correct? And at that moment in my mind, I was like, I must have left an impression, because obviously I didn't know at that time I had it, but I kind of felt that I did. So it was probably like a week later when I got the notice that I got the role, and I was with my beautiful daughter, and I was just crying. I was like, yes, because in this art that we are in, there are so many talented people out there, but a lot of them don't get the chance. Mm-hmm. And just to be given a chance to be a part of something so monumental and historical, I'm still honored and humbled by, I don't deserve this, but someone picked me, so.
Honey, it's called favor.
Yeah, man. It is amazing. Called. So I just want to thank, obviously Winsome, WSA Casting, amazing, God, Dwayne Boyd, the people who put this film together, thank you.
She's getting her speech ready for the
camera. Right.
That's the speech right. I like to thank you. What about you, Ryan? How did you get the news? How did you feel?
Oh man. So this audition happened just after I moved here from New York City. And WSA was the first casting agency that I really had a good relationship with after this. Mm-hmm. When I moved in, I signed with Classic Talent, worked with them. They've been wonderful for me and my fiance and everything we've had. It's been really good. Mm-hmm. But when I got the audition for this, it was my first feature in Atlanta. It was my first kind of okay, this is going to be something really cool to go out for. And then I got the breakdown. I was like, this is going to be terrifying. So walk in and say all the things I had to say in a room and just be that evil of a person that's never been in my blood, that kind of person. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, and my whole family was just always just you don't act like that. That's not who you are. No matter what you feel, you can talk through anything. Don't ever have that kind of prejudice or anything else. And so I went into that audition with you, and we were sitting in the room, and I walked in, I said it. I was like, oh, I felt bad about that. I walked out after we finished it, and I walked away, and then all of a sudden I got a call, I guess it was later that day or a couple days later, said, okay, you got a call back. This time you're going to go back in the room for all the producers and everybody else. You're going to be there. LT, everybody was there. And I was like, even more pressure. It's just kind of I'm terrified, because this is the first time where I felt like today could be a day that I actually book a role and do something about it, And then all of a sudden I get the call from agents and everything, said, hey, you got it. You booked the role, and you're going to go in and you're going to be in All Eyes on Me. So it was just a wonderful feeling to just get to Atlanta and actually have something on such an important film. So
yeah, and I want to reiterate that it is an important film. Yes. So now, you guys played your roles, but both of you had scenes with Demetrius.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Demetrius, it was very focused, even off camera, just very focused. When I first worked with him and seen, for those who have seen the film, those who haven't, go get your tickets and come back. But for those who have seen the film, the courtroom, the infamous courtroom scene, you know, after the verdict is reached and I kind of like look over at Demetrius, that was the first time we worked. So I didn't, you know, really get to know him until later on, like probably a week later after we filmed some other scenes. But he was just very focused. His energy I fed off of. And like you guys said, he was born for this role. I mean, it was just an honor. I'm like, are you sure this is your first film? Like, Are you sure? I mean, he was just disciplined, focused, you know, it was an honor.
What about
The
you?
first time I met Demetrius was on accident. I sat in the wrong chair in the wardrobe because they were kind of busy getting everybody ready. So I sat in on his side, and they were working quickly because they knew we had to get out there. So all of a sudden, coming behind me, the door opens and he walks in and sits down next to me, and I had never seen him before. So it was the first time I saw him, I was like, "Oh, this man looks like Tupac." But he wasn't even in makeup yet, and they were like, it was the day that they were going from shooting. He had like more hair down to like the buzz cut, like taking it all the way down bald, and I just got to see him in the mirror, kind of transform while they were going, and then finally they kicked me out, shut all the door, and I wasn't allowed in anymore. But then I got to work with him. Man, I got to be real mean to him the whole time. But every time we do a take, he'd be, like you said, 100% in character. You couldn't break him. He was very much like, let's do this. Yeah. He wanted it all to be real. He wanted when you fought him and when you had aggression, he wanted to take it and give it back to you like it would be. And then when you got done, he was laughing. He always laughed. When he got done, he'd be laughing and joking. And then as soon as we started back up again, he would get back in and one thing. He's perfect for this role. He was brilliant.
So what was Ryan, this question is for you. What was the most difficult part about preparing for this role?
I think to me, I had to be somebody that I'm not. Like, I had to prepare to be a guy that I don't like. I had to be offensive. I had to be abrasive and break somebody down. And especially when you see in the film, you see how much he's portrayed as the side you don't get to see of Tupac too much. That loving, that charismatic side of Tupac. And when you see that as a person, and you're trying to prepare to be, and I feel like that's who I am as well. Mm-hmm. And I had to prepare to be somebody that doesn't care about any of those feelings. It breaks somebody down. My job in life as that character, as a corrections officer at that maximum security, was to break you down. Right. And I'm not used to that, so it was tough for me.
Okay, so let me ask you, because you, without giving it away, go see the movie.
Yeah, go see the movie.
What did you do to prepare? That's a range of emotions that you have to do. You know, you spoke a little bit about the courtroom scene, but there's a lot that happens chronologically before that. What did Erica do to bring that to life?
Well, I wanna say this. It's funny, when I was like probably 9, 10, 11, I remember hearing Brenda's Got a Baby, and I remember when I first heard that song, I'm like, it touched me. And I'm like, being that young girl growing up in Boston, 4 blocks from where New Edition is, like, if it is in the from the projects, like I got all of that, and that was like really a bad time for Boston. It was like the crack epidemic was huge. I mean, it was crazy. And I remember listening to that song feeling like, whoa, I know so many girls that are like Brenda, you know? When I got the role and I read the hysterical part, like after the rape, I was like, I have to make people feel like I did just get raped. Even though Pac didn't do it, that girl, I do feel that she still did get raped. I don't feel he did it. And so I had to really tap into some of the darkest moments that have ever happened in my life. And we all have those trials. Life is full of them. And so I had to tap into that. Also feeling like, you know, a true artist makes people feel. Like, if I close my eyes, will people feel this? And so a lot of that, I recorded myself, like on my phone, just the voice. And then when I felt those chills, I was like, yes, I think that I have this. So it was just a lot of tapping into my true emotions and then going there. Like, some of us are afraid to go there because we're like, oh, it's too much, but I wanted that.
I think some of the best, just from my experience, you know, some of the best actresses and actors that's the whole thing. You
Right.
have to go there.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to throw caution to the wind,
Yeah.
bet it all on black, like go for it,
Yes.
do no holds barred,
Right.
and those are the iconic moments in a
Right.
person's career that they just stopped caring and just started being.
Just go there. And then it really quickly in that, I remember we were filming that probably almost 3 hours because we had to do different angles and all that. So the first hour and a half, I'm like just hysterical. The makeup artist comes, she's like, you're probably gonna start drying up after a while. Do you want some tears? I was like, this has to be real. No. And she was like, okay. And so I kept hearing Brenda's Got a Baby over and over. And Boom is like, what do you keep listening to?
Boom, which is Benny Boom, our director.
Yeah, shout out to Benny Boom. He's like, what are you listening to? I'm like, Brenda's Got a Baby. He's like, okay, let her do her thing, guys. And so I was over there listening to the music, but more importantly, how does a girl like me that come from where I come from in Boston, like, how am I here? You know, and it was a lot of that in my mind, and I'm like, this is the moment I've been waiting for. I just let it all out.
And I love the chemistry you guys had within the scenes that you were in. You had great chemistry with Demetrius. Your moments work. You had great chemistry with Corey too. Corey, Corey Ardrich.
Yeah,
okay,
he was
amazing.
Awesome. He's like, this is what we're gonna do. This. I was like, all right, cool. You know, it was awesome. He's like definitely a disciplined actor as well.
So let me ask you these questions. Okay, talking about the film, what for both of you was your biggest takeaway from having worked on this project?
Biggest takeaway. I think that I have it in me to do stuff like that. I think that it's that courage level of like, you know, even if you don't feel comfortable doing something, especially acting your performance, like you said, it's about what you feel, making people feel things. And I can do it. I mean, I watch it on big screen. It's the first time I've seen my face like that. Saying the things I say and being an angry man, but it's nice to know that I can be compassionate and then also turn and flip that switch. And
That's what acting is.
Nice.
That's being other than you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a testament to that.
What about you, Erica?
Well, we're storytellers, right? Like, we are the storyteller. Someone writes the story, and then we have to tell it or portray it. And no matter what the character is, that is our job. And what I took away from this was that no matter what part I do, I always want to be a part of something that means something. Like, this story, this film means so much to so many people. And so just believe in what you do, be persistent, be tenacious, and never stop. Like, this film has been in the works for what, 11 plus years?
No, since 2000, I want to say since 2007 or 8.
Yeah,
So it
that's
took
a
a while,
long
exactly.
time, you
Every
know?
overnight success, by the way, takes 10 years, just so y'all know. Okay?
And it was just nice. It's nice to be a fly on the wall, like being a smaller role in a large film that's this big of a thing. To be around and see guys like Demetrius Shiv go through this process and say, you know what, your life just changed.
Yeah.
Like watching you go from the beginning to the end of that, and just getting to see everybody and be around those kind of people, it kind of fuels you too.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, did either of you learn anything about Pop that you didn't know before? Like after the film, did you didn't know before the film?
I knew he.
Oh, sorry, no. I love that he's a Shakespeare connoisseur. I didn't know.
I was
didn't
just
know,
gonna say.
and I love Shakespeare. I write my own kind of sonnets. I write.
Really?
I love it. So it's just something I do. And I got to see that he was so much. He quotes it a lot in the movie, but he was an artist. And like even when he's talking with Biggie out on the patio, and he's going on the porch, and he's going through everything and talking about just to bring up in a trying time, say, I want to quote Shakespeare to like put it in perspective.
Yes.
It's good.
There were so many layers to this man.
I was just gonna say that. One of the things I learned, I also learned that because I'm like, I knew he was intelligent, but I didn't know you could quote Shakespeare because I'm over here like, what? But just that there are so many layers, and I took away that it's okay to be an onion. It's okay to like not be defined or not be in a box or not just be, okay, this is who this person is, because I think we all are, but I think that we're trained to be in a box or we're trained to just be like this. We're all very complicated creatures because we're all still trying to figure out this thing called life, right? So yeah, that's what I took away, that he was just like an onion. There was just so many layers to him.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to say, I'm going to shout out the film again. So far, I think we're at 38 million to date. So that's good stuff. But to wrap it up, I really want to find out about you, the actors. What's next for you guys? What is what's on the table, and what would you like to be on the table? What would you like to be next?
I would like everything to be next.
That's right. That's right.
I would like it. Honestly, I want my next role for people to be able to appreciate my range. I know that in this role they see it and they're like, okay, paying attention now. But I want my next role to be like, wow, not just Erica Pinkett is phenomenal, but where are there more people like her?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there is so much talent that is undiscovered, or, you know, like diamonds in the rough out there. People who have really hard, traumatic, real life experiences can offer so much to film, so much to acting, just because that's what it is. And so the next role for me, I just hope and pray, and I'm working as well, that it will highlight, you know, my range in such a dramatic way. And I do want to work with Queen Latifah. I'm putting that. I keep saying that, like I'm putting
Put it out there. Put it out in the universe.
Like I'm sounding like Khadijah.
Exactly.
Because it was so funny. Like I've always wanted to work with the Queen. Oprah. I've always wanted to work with her. And Denzel. Like who doesn't want to work with Denzel? You know. So putting it out there.
What about you, Ryan?
I want to be around people that inspire people.
Yes.
I want to be working on projects. I know a lot of stories are retold lately. There's been a lot of like retelling of different older stories and things being brought back. And like there's not many new thoughts. You know, there's a lot of things that are being revisited and everything. It's nice to be a part of a project where it's about a specific story in time or something that's very influential now that was in the past. Something that can be brought back. And I want to be a big role. I want to be a big role on one of those, right? But yeah, I'm working on a couple things. Working on a project right now. I just got back from LA.
Oh, cool.
It's called Guns, the album. It's all about gun violence and mass shootings in America, and it's on every major music platform. Check it out, gunsthealbum.com. But yeah, it's not pro, it's not anti-guns or anything like that. It's about how the media represents it and how you get to see all of the problems in America with mass shootings and violence that way.
That's dope. I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah.
And I want to shout you out because Erica also starred in the first thing that WSA produced, Untitled. Yes. So shout out Erica for the love.
And I actually play an officer's wife.
Exactly.
So I'm not this little hey Pac. I'm not this little thotty in the club.
Exactly.
I read that script. That's fun. That's good.
Exactly. So she did her thing on that also. So how do people follow you? How do they keep up with you? What you're doing with your career? How do they follow you on social media?
Okay, just Facebook. I mean, I'm on Facebook. I have some YouTube channels, things like that, but I don't really have a website up yet going. Just kind of been building things slowly.
Prepare yourself. Get ready for that.
I'm excited for
it.
Get ready for the demand's there. We'll put it up.
Absolutely.
Everyone can follow me on Instagram, Twitter at Erica Pinkett, EricAPinkett. I have a Facebook page, but like I'm not really on there. But Erica Pinkett, Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, cool. So guys, follow them. Please go see the movie if you haven't seen it, and if you have seen it, go back and take a friend who hasn't seen
it.
Okay.
Please support the culture.
Exactly.
We need more stories like this to be told.
We need our stories told because our stories matter, and that's something that we're big at on WSA and at Cairo. So our stories matter. It has been wonderful having you guys. I always close the show with a quote, and the quote is normally somebody says something that I've learned in life or whatever, but for the past couple of weeks, we've been quoting Tupac. So this week's quote from Tupac is, "This life soon shatters, cause after all the lights and the screens, nothing but my dreams matter."
Yes.
That was Tupac Shakur. Join us back next week. We will be back next week. It'll be our 100th show.
Yes.
100th show on ActorScope. It's going to be a celebration. I don't even know what it is yet, but it's going to be a celebration. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And please go see All Eyes on Me. I know I've been saying that the whole half hour, but I promise you won't regret it. You will feel something. Okay? And we're welcome and open to whatever it is that you feel about it. Share with us. Let's talk about it. Thank you again. We'll be back next week. Same back time. Same back channel.